y'all, and welcome to my channel, Fred Makes Things, and a sewing project video for you today on this lovely Monday. I was going to talk about this on Wednesday, but the stuff I had planned for Wednesday, or for today, Monday, didn't happen. So we're talking about this today. We're talking about a reversible table runner, but really it's a story of perseverance. We're going to talk about this in 4 different parts as per usual. Part 1 is going to be inspiration. Part 2 is going to be looking at the project itself. Part 3 is going to be pros, cons, user error. And then part 4 is going to be final thoughts and sign off. Timestamps are on the screen, in the description box, and as chapters in the video. So if you want to just skip to talking about the project or what have you, feel free to do so. I don't know what Junior is doing, so we'll make it easy for him to move around so he doesn't spaz out and knock stuff over. So yeah, before we get started, I want to say hello, everybody. Hello to the new subscribers, the OGs, anyone in between. Hello to the people who are curious about this table runner and have clicked on this video, and anyone else who happens to be watching. You are also very much appreciated, and your kind and thoughtful comments are always so welcome in the comment section. So yeah. Let's just get into part 1, inspiration. So this all started because the Canuck quilter, she's the person that I did a temperature quilt, or I used her pattern to do a temperature quilt last year. Here's a photo of that. And I did a mystery quilt along with her in the spring. Here's a photo of that. Released a pattern for her people who are subscribed to her newsletter. It's a pattern she's had for a while, but she made it free, a free download for the people who were subscribed to her newsletter, right? For her email newsletter. And what it was this leaf block and the border pattern for it too, and I liked it, and I thought she had released it for Canada Day, and I thought, ooh, that is really, really cool. I could like make that, right, and bring it back to Edmonton to share it with my family for Canada Day, right? Like I thought, I will be in Edmonton on Canada Day. Like how nice would it be to have like a lovely little gift for when I got there. So I decided I wanted to make this. And then I remembered too that I had, well, I didn't remember, right? I knew too that I had these fabrics that you're looking at as a bundle from Fat Quarter Shop. I got them as my very first mystery bundle from them. And I was like, I didn't know what I wanted to do with it, but I thought, ooh, like it would look really cool as like a vintage kind of maple leaf feeling. So then I did that too. Like I started, so I had the fabric and I had the idea for the table runner, right? Like I had the pattern and the fabric, and I said, yes, let's do that. And then I made it, and I struggled making it, but we'll get into that. And then after I had the top all pieced up, right, I thought, okay, well, what am I going to do for the backing? Because I'm still using, like, I used all these fat quarters for the top, and I thought, well, why not? I'd already pieced the top at this point. Why not do a backing and just, or make it reversible and have like 3 different 12.5-inch squares, right, on the back to make it match the top. And then I could have like a pieced back and a pieced top, and then it could be reversible. So that is what I did. I did the top first, figured out what the dimensions needed to be. Turns out 12.5 by 12.5. or so, and then with a border. So that is what I did. This backing, these backing blocks were called the double square, and I pulled them from my Symphony block of the month. Here, the double star, because I kind of liked the look of it, all finished up and pretty. So I did the double star for the back. I did the pattern from Canuck Quilter on the top, and I used fabrics that I already had from a Fat Quarter Shop mystery bundle. And I pieced it all together. And that is what we're talking about today. So let's get into part 2, looking at the project itself. So we'll start with the backing side. And we have the 3-pieced stars. They use all similar fabrics, but not all of the same fabrics, right? But the same colors. So on the back we did like the more like beigey kind of tea-stained feeling colors, right? And the desaturated reds and the wines and some burgundies into 3 different stars. We have 2 like beige stars, 1 red star, and then we have like a beige border fabric all the way around to make it work out. Right, with a red, or like a, yeah, I would say it's a desaturated kind of brick red color for our binding. Then on the other side, we have the maple leaves in the same kind of color family, right, as the other side. But instead of using the beiges from that bundle, we're using the creams from that bundle instead. So we have 1 main cream fabric that runs through all of the maple leaves. Then we have something similar with pieces of that cream fabric as our border. We have a pieced together 1/2-inch border along, right, of all the different fabrics that we used. Then our outside border is one of the creams from here, right, and then we have the same binding. So here it is on my kitchen table, laid it out for you so you can kind of see the sizing and how it kind of looks on a table, not with a cat sprawled across it. Like the cream side I think is quite pretty. I think both sides are quite pretty. Here's the other side, the beige side. Both sides look very fall to me. So like you could probably use this top one, or the cream side, the maple leaf side, for Canada Day if you wanted to, and then flip it over for fall, or you could use them both for fall. I think that the colors work quite well for that. I think the colors work quite nicely for that. So yeah, that is part 2, looking at the project itself. Now let's get into pros, cons, user error, and where my story of perseverance comes in. Pro, the Canuck Quilter's patterns are always really, really good. She does a really good job of breaking her steps down, making everything work. And what this specific pattern was really cool at doing is that she has a base table runner pattern with all of the borders, and she even has these really cool points that she puts in them, like these little triangles that are sewn in on one side, but they're like they pop up and stuff if you want them to be. Like they're really, really cool. Because I had to alter the border because I didn't have quite enough fabric. I couldn't put those points in, but they look really, really cool in her pattern. These are available for purchase. I will link them down in the description box. So she has like her base backing border pattern for a table runner. And then what she's also done is she has designed different, I think they're 9-inch blocks, 9.5-inch blocks or something, to inset into the base pattern. So she has like the maple leaves. She has stuff, I think, for Christmas, for spring, stuff like that. So you can kind of pick and choose what, I believe, 9.5-inch blocks that you want to put into them. So I think they're sold separately. Information's on the screen, and like I said, it'll be in the description box for you as well. But they work really well together, and her instructions work really well together. And I really like how the pattern comes together. And I really like the detail that she has in here. Like, I really like the I really like the maple leaves. I really like the border detailing. I like the 1/2-inch border that she has designed for it, right? I like this pattern a lot. And I like how this all came together. I like the colors that I chose. I shouldn't say, well, I like how the colors came together. I like this kind of vintage, retro, old school kind of vibe to it. I like how it kind of feels like farmhouse or cottagey, maybe a bit on the rustic side. Like, I like that. I like how the maple leaves lay out together. And like I said, I like the border. I also like my version of quilting this time. So what I did for quilting is I did X's through the 3 giant stars on the back. And then I did 1.5 inches in on this side. So I did X's from the back, and then on this side I traced out 1.5 inches and did these V's coming in. I've done this this type of quilting before, and then it ended up with these really cool triangles. You can see how like unsquare my stuff is because they're not really triangles, but or squares, but right, you can kind of see how they come together. They would have been really cool had I been thinking to like spiral them, but I wasn't thinking. So I like how they kind of box themselves like that. And I made sure to make the start and the stop hidden in the like reds and stuff when they come together on both sides. So the back stitching and stuff, right, seals it in. But I really like how that came together. I really like how nicely my binding kind of worked out on it. And I really like how my color planning for the stars worked out so well. So I like most of the ideas and most of the components to this project. But I didn't like making this project. So now let's get into cons and perseverance, maybe. I don't know. So I don't like this fabric. This fabric frays. It stretches a little bit. It doesn't sit nicely. It's not very, it wasn't very clean and easy to work with. I don't even know if it's a full-on cotton or not, or if it has something in it, but it has like a little bit of stretch. It's also a little bit on the thin side. So it was really difficult making, like putting everything together and piecing it all. And working with it. Like, I really had a difficult time on this side. Everything is cut to the same, but it just, like, it's puckered in some places, right? Like, this should be perfect, but it's not, right? Like, it kind of comes in, like, especially down here, and it's because of how much it's stretched and stuff in my sewing machine. And we'll talk about user error and how part of that is my fault, but part of it is the type of fabric that this is. It's probably a cotton, it could be a quilting cotton, but it doesn't seem to behave as nicely as some of the other quilting cottons that I have used. And so because of the issues with the fabric, I think that sometimes they didn't come together as well as they could have. Like you can see, like most of my points line up really well. Most of them sit together quite well. But then down here, right, there's issues here. I think these are the only two ones that have issues on them, really. And I sewed them all exactly the same way. I used my half or my 1/4 inch seam allowance foot. It was a clear presser foot and it worked so well. On the back here, again, right, some of my points are caught, and it's just, I think it's just the nature of the fabric that I was using and how much stretch it had. Like you can see here too, right, like there's stretch, there's puckering. I don't know, it's just not an easy fabric to work with. Which gets me into user error. Barring like some of the points, this whole square is messed up. Like the outside fits, but this inner corner, like this intersection does not, and I don't know how it happened. And by the time that I reached this, I was so frustrated. I just said, whatever, I'm gonna leave it. I don't have enough fabric to go in and really fix it if I want it to match with everything else. And I was just tired of dealing with it, of dealing with the fabric, of dealing with the fight. So I said, whatever, we'll just leave it. So this one is messed up, but the other two I think are pretty perfect. As you can see, there's puckering, right? There's puffiness everywhere. There's puckering. I was gonna wash this before talking to you all about it to see if, right, some of the puckering disappears in the wash. But there's puckering here, there's puckering here, on this side, down in here. On this side, I think it's better, but then, right, like you just have like your wonky inner piece here. I had to do some piecing too to make sizing fit and things work out. And as I was getting ready, I noticed one of these quarters wasn't sewn down all of the way here, right? I missed that, so I'll just have to go in and sew that down. Like I used my new stitch in the ditch foot, so I'm still figuring that out all the ways, and sometimes the binding just doesn't sit well. And then the other user error, and I think that this is the big problem, is that when I started working with this, everything was going really well, but as I got further and further into the project, I was having more and more issues, right? It was fabric issues, it was timing issues too. Like I was trying to get this done before I left for Edmonton. Like I was working on this in June, and I was talking about this project in June too, and now we're here end of September talking about this, right? Which reminds me, I need to send an email or a message. It's my cousin's birthday. I forgot to message her. So anyway, yeah, so with my presser foot, with my sewing machine, it was getting harder and harder. I was getting more and more annoyed. And what I think happened, we talked about this in a previous video, is that my shank on my sewing machine, I think, was in its last days when I was working on this project. And when I came home and was working on stuff, this happened. So this is the shank for my sewing machine, and as you can see, I broke it off. I didn't even know how you could do that, but it's broken, right? It should sit like this, right? I talked about this before, and it's completely, like, it snapped And so I think that I was already working with like a broken foot, or shank, so I think I was already kind of having difficulties with stability and keeping everything together, which then aggravated this project. So I came home and I was so frustrated with it that I just set it aside. I've been looking at it, it's been on my list to finish up, but I just couldn't. End of August I came back to it to work on it so I could talk to you end of August, early September about this project, and I ran out of thread that I was quilting it with. Had to order that, got that, didn't have any interest in working on it, and then finally I finished it up last week. So if I didn't have it on my list and if I wasn't talking to you all about it, I probably wouldn't have finished it. I probably would have put it in a future project pile, right? Come back to it in the future kind of situation. But I wanted to get it done. I wanted to talk to you all about it. And I wanted to show you that even though you have like issues upon issues when you're working on something, sometimes it's okay to take a break and then come back to it. All right, I started this early June. Struggled with it through most of June, put it away for all of July because I wasn't even here. Picked it up at the end of August, struggled through it for a little bit longer, set it aside, and came back to it at the end of September. And now it's finished. So that's my biggest kind of user error, is that I just didn't have the patience, I think, to continue working with it, and also like there's actual like piecing issues and stuff like that with it. But yeah, now it's done, now it's finished. I can't say I'm happy with it 100%, but it'll be a good gift for somebody in the future. Like I might use it, but I have a lot of table runners, so I don't really need it. If you see all this blue, that's just chalk. It'll come out in the wash. But yeah, that is this month's project. Let's get into final thoughts and sign off part 4. Like I said, overall, I like the pattern for this project. I like the pattern for the top. I like how the stars came together in the back. I like the idea of the colors that I used in it. They're not usually colors that I gravitate to, but I did enjoy them, or I did enjoy how the colors came together. And I would probably make this version of this table topper again, probably with half-yard cuts though, and not fat quarters. Unless I had a whole lot of fat quarters and I was making something really super scrappy. But I think you need half-yard cuts for your border pieces. I think that would look better. And I'm proud of myself for getting this finished, even though it took me 3 months to get it done. June, July, August, almost 4 months to get it done. I am really happy with how it came together. But what do you think? Do you like it? Do you not? Do you like the colors? Do you not? Are you one of those people who like this color scheme, these kinds of shades? Let me know in the comments section. I'd like to hear all your thoughts down in the comments, really. What do we have coming up? Wednesday's most likely going to be an unboxing video, I think. If not, I'll be scrambling. Friday is our hooks and needles project review for box 14. And then the week after that, again, is kind of all up in the air as well. So do think about subscribing if you want to see any of those. Like the video if you liked it, if you made it to the end, if you've made projects like this, if you've done anything with the Canuck quilter before, yeah, all that good stuff. And yeah, I think that's it. So with all of that being said, I'm going to say thank you so much for watching, and I will talk with you again soon. Bye!